Do you know why so many people in physical businesses can't survive? Because they all rely on offline. And if everyone doesn't go out to spend during this period, their business will all die. Is the rent free? Don't employees want money? Don't you need money for the purchase and so on? It's all cost. Therefore, if ordinary people want to make money, they must do business online. And they must establish a 24-hour automatic personal brand that makes money for us online at zero cost. What would an amateur do? I don't know how to start a business, marketing, attract fans, etc. Can I do it? I don't have any fans, any interests, any skills. I'm neither handsome nor beautiful, I don't even have money, and I don't have any ideas. Can I do it? All you need to do is subscribe, like this video. It's completely free. You heard me right. Make this your friend today. Not a dime. Then I want to clarify one point, I am not saying that you can buy any house. I am not blindly bullish house prices. In fact, due to the urbanization has almost developed. Although it is said that the supply of houses in high-quality locations in big cities is still in short supply. Everyone still says that there is an influx of people to live in big cities. However, although the supply of second-tier cities and locations is still in short supply, the housing prices in these places will definitely not increase as exaggeratedly as before in terms of fundamentals. Because there are not many people flowing in. Moreover, in the remote areas of the second-tier cities, there is still a lot of undeveloped land. These land builders generally offer relatively cheap prices. Many people think that they can not only live in new houses but also live in bigger ones. The most important thing is the price is still very cheap. But here comes the problem, when the housing prices are adjusted across the board, the houses in these areas will drop the most. Why? Because no one took the offer. So we say that when house prices adjust, houses in big cities don't fall very much, and even continue to rise. Houses in second-tier cities can drop slightly, but houses in remote second-tier cities, or even suburban houses, may drop sharply. And these plummeting housing supply is relatively large, but we say that this will affect the overall housing price if no one takes over the housing. Why do some internet celebrities come out and say that housing prices have fallen? But we investors feel that housing prices have not fallen much, but have risen instead? Because the data those internet celebrities show you is the data of remote areas. As for the businessmen who really know how to invest and do business, we don't look at the data of those houses at all. Those who can talk about those data are those who can't afford a house, have never bought a house, but rely on commenting on the house price to gain attention. The so-called experts. Won't the housing prices in first-tier cities and high-quality locations not fall? No. Today, a house worth only $1 million. The landlord will decorate and package it, and then the real estate agent will exaggerate it. You may pay $1.5 million to buy this house. And when the housing price adjusts, your $1.5 million house will fall back to its true value, which is $1 million. So when you see that when the interest rate is raised, some areas in the first-tier cities will drop slightly. Because some people in that area bought houses with a premium. May rush to cash out. As I said in my previous video, people who can afford a house in a first-tier location may not necessarily know how to buy a house, they just earn a little more than ordinary people. So we investors just want people to abandon and we take it. Find some landlords who are crazy, and when they sell the house, we buy the house they don't want. And to do this, we must have a chance when housing prices are adjusted. There are a lot of unfavorable news, and many internet celebrities who have never bought a house come out and look down on the housing market. Of course, there are two other situations where the house will plummet. The first is that many people died. For example, the large-scale plagues and wars in the past. I just looked at the previous data casually. During the anti-Japanese war, housing prices in northeast China plummeted. Because that side is occupied by the Japanese. Many people fled to the south, so housing prices in the south rose. At that time, housing prices in Chongqing skyrocketed. Because many dignitaries went to Chongqing. So back to what I just said, the house price is the ticket to a region. Which place is safer during times of war? Naturally, everyone is willing to pay a higher price to live in that place. Survival is more important. Then the second case of falling house prices. That is, the housing problem can be solved by other things that are not houses. Traditionally, The house is the least substitutable product among all commodities. So what is a substitutable commodity? For example, if you don't eat bread, you can eat steamed buns and rice. So the problem of hunger can be solved by many foods. But there is no substitute for a house. You need to buy or rent a house when you get married, and you also need to buy or rent a house when you get divorced. Therefore, a house is a rigid demand, and a house is irreplaceable. And if you think about it, it is impossible to work overtime and produce unlimited houses. It needs to be approved by the government. For example, what if there is not enough bread in the United States? Build a bakery in New York, and work hard overtime. But as for the houses, you can't say that there are not enough houses in New York. It's impossible to move the houses in Cambodia, right? So the housing prices in each city, remember, are formed independently. It is the lowest threshold for you to enter the city and enjoy the urban lifestyle. It is the lowest ticket you need for flying or train. This can explain why house prices have risen steadily in the long run. That's why I love investing in real estate so much. But this cannot explain why in the past few years, housing prices have not only increased, but skyrocketed. Everyone, do you know who is the biggest banker in the real estate market? Not us investors, not builders, but our great government. What I am going to talk about below is not common sense in economics. I originally used these theories to chat with some big guys. But now simplified for you. That is, the entire market, our economy, has a basic driving force. And this driving force will make you very worried, that is inflation. We often say that the salary cannot keep up with the increasingly expensive prices, causing the people to live in dire straits. Who actually said this sentence? It's the poor. The better a city or country develops, the higher the prices will be. The government must make money less and less valuable. What does that mean? Today, if the banknotes in your hands are getting more and more valuable, you could have bought a house in New York with $1 million. Now that the banknotes have appreciated, you can buy 10 houses with 100,000. Then will you all go to buy a house? When the housing price is getting lower and lower, and the builders are not profitable, who will develop houses? Who will be construction workers and decoration workers? If all real estate related industries stop production, more than half of the country's population will lose their jobs. On the contrary, if everyone's money is worthless, you will get rid of things as soon as possible, and the money can flow, and the more it flows, the more jobs will be born. The higher the GDP, the more taxes can be collected, and the country can be prosperous and strong. Can you understand? So when the Fed started printing money, all houses went up. Therefore, the main reason for those who think housing prices will collapse is the population theory. With the emergence of declining birth rates, young people in the future will inherit many houses from their families. Therefore, the next generation will not have the motivation to buy houses, and housing prices will definitely collapse. This view seems reasonable. It is very confusing, but this is not the case. First of all, the supply of houses will still be in short supply in the next 10 years, right? You don't buy a house and hold it for 10 years, do you? It is the most normal situation to sell if the price has risen in 3 or 5 years. Let's not talk about it. That is to say, when the population really begins to decrease. It will definitely not be decreasing in all places. But in some places it will decrease a lot, in some places it will not decrease, and in some places the population will continue to rise. This is not what I said. In fact, population decline in developed regions abroad is nothing new. We just need to believe in the theory proven by history. When the population really decreases a lot, people will migrate from small cities to big cities. Population reduction is affected by areas with small populations. The population of small cities is below the minimum immigration standard. If the population decreases further, it will start to become deserted. What is the minimum immigration standard? It means whether a city is suitable for living or not. There is a basic population requirement. If the population of a place is too small, so small that it is lower than the minimum population standard, then the local supporting facilities that are indispensable for life, such as schools, hospitals, shopping malls, etc., will be reduced. For example, a city with a population of only tens of thousands, it's hard to specialize in maintaining a top hospital, or a key university. Railroads and planes only cover densely populated cities. And that forces those who are looking for quality of life to leave and live in big cities. The remaining people cannot support development, nor can they provide enough employment. So it's still the same problem: those that are more livable land allow you to go on vacation, and those that are bigger, that is, the housing prices in suburban areas are very cheap. When the population is greatly reduced, housing prices will be affected. But it will only affect houses in these remote areas. This rule has been repeatedly verified abroad. In the past, there were places in the United States and Greece that gave away houses for free. Those were remote areas that were once prosperous but are now disliked. The metropolises that you can name all over the world have not been affected by population decline. The housing prices should be rising and still rising. For example, in Germany, the problem of aging is serious enough, right? The population is only over 80 million, and 1/4 of them are old people. However, housing prices in Germany have risen rapidly in recent years. Among the 10 cities with the fastest growth in housing prices in Europe, 4 are in Germany. And Berlin is the global housing price the second increase. There is also Japan, where the aging population problem is the most serious. The population has dropped for 11 consecutive years. Every time I say that housing prices will rise, those sour people leave a message below and ask me what about Japan? These sour people don't watch my video about buying a house in Japan. I said that what Japan is playing is not appreciation, but rent collection. More than 10% per year. But let's not talk about this game for now. I only talk about the housing prices in Tokyo, which have risen for 11 years in a row. I always only recommend that you buy houses in first-tier big cities and high-quality locations. Not cheap houses in remote areas. I often say that there is a threshold for real estate investment, but it is also the safest asset in my opinion. I invest 70% of my money in houses in first-tier cities. The estimated suburban house is to find a way to increase your income and buy a house in a high-quality location. The house is not for self-occupation, and then the price drop has nothing to do with you. Those who know current affairs are heroes. It is the trend that makes you poor or rich. Back then, the first batch of people who started businesses made money. The first batch of people who bought houses made money. The first batch of e-commerce people made money. What is the world now? Self-media. Why can many amateurs sell those NFTs online? It's so expensive, how can you sell so many? From the media. Why do so many people have been in the business for a lifetime? And even some artists have worked hard in the show business circle. And in the end they made more money from making videos and putting them on the internet than the sum of the money he made before? For example, Lu Ganggong. It is because they have all caught the trend of self-media. Fans will be your greatest asset and wealth. And if you want to have an internet boss who really has results, take you. There is an entrepreneurial system and method that allows you to copy scientifically. You don't need to have any experience in marketing, entrepreneurship, realization, or products. You don't need to understand the complex principles behind SEO, editing, design, and copywriting. You just need to be obedient, follow it to death. You can do the same as my other disciples. To build an automatic money-making brand that makes customers chase you. I will tell you all my ideas about starting a business, and some other methods. Including how to attract traffic, SEO, turn traffic into money, etc. And tell you completely in the business school, and lead you to start a business forever. In terms of improving your entrepreneurial quality, if you join now, I will give you a permanent membership of the Fortune Free Book Club as a personal gift. You don't need to read any more books, you can just listen to our team dismantling the essence of 100 books for you thinking. Go and listen to my wealth-free courses on Emperor art and sales that I update from time to time. In addition, we have a FB group with thousands of people, everyone will share first-hand information about making money with each other in it. The good news is that if you join now, there will be a very big discount in the early stage. And the bad news is that this promotion is about to be cancelled by my team. Because we will only keep increasing the price as the content is updated. So don't say anything, those who are interested in becoming my disciple must hurry up and join in the second link on the video description column. Let's come back. The decline in population not only did not affect housing prices in big cities, but drove more people from small cities to big cities. The demand for housing in big cities increased, and housing prices rose instead. The decline in population is beneficial to the real estate market in first-tier cities. But the danger is the houses in small cities. If you don't really need these places, it is recommended not to rush to buy them. In the past, the real estate industry did more good than harm to the economy and overfulfilled the historical mission. In the past 20 years, the national government's tax revenue could not cover the expenditure. Such a huge local fiscal gap is mainly made up by real estate. The government's income from land sales, together with real estate-related taxes, accounts for most of a country's fiscal revenue. All medical care, education, poverty alleviation, road construction, public security, and fire protection are all inseparable from the support of the real estate industry. Now I start to dislike the backwardness of the real estate industry. Isn't this just taking advantage of the owner's house, but talking bad about the owner's house? Isn't it just that everyone pays you the salary the boss gives you, and then scolds the boss behind your back? And this is 97% of the poor. The real rich will only embrace the dividends of skyrocketing house prices, and then assume social responsibilities. I will definitely be scolded for saying these words. It is harmful to me but not beneficial to me. But I hope that people who understand me know that I am a person who is sincerely good for you. Be sure to support me, like it, and share this video. Because if I don't do it, no one will do it. Still the same sentence, those who can understand, those who can't understand, then let them. Well, if you have any questions, you can leave me a message. As long as you can find a sentence or two in what I said today that is useful and can help your life to live better, I will be satisfied. Do come back frequently to learn how to become a rich man, an entrepreneur, an investor, free information on achieving financial freedom. If you don't want to miss it, I still appeal to you to subscribe to my channel, and then turn on the little bell. Then selflessly share the video. I sincerely wish the brothers and sisters who like this video to achieve wealth and freedom as soon as possible. Cheers.